Good evening, I'm Judge Linda Harris, and tonight we examine a case that shocked Phoenix, Arizona to its core. A 41-year-old mother of two, Nicole Carter, was brutally murdered in broad daylight after what appeared to be a simple business meeting. But what led to this senseless tragedy? How did a dispute over $50 escalate to murder? And how did an entire community come together to help solve this case in record time? The answers will both inspire and horrify you.
I know people think I'm struggling, but I'm not giving up. I work 3 jobs, cleaning offices at night, selling my jewelry at the farmer's market on weekends, and taking whatever odd jobs I can find. My kids are everything to me. I tell them every day that we're going to make it, that things will get better. I'm meeting someone tomorrow about a real job opportunity. Steady income, benefits, the works. Finally feels like things are turning around for us. I've been praying for a break like this. All I want is to give my children the life they deserve.
At 4:23 p.m., a jogger found Nicole's body in a vacant lot 3 blocks from where she was last seen alive. The scene was horrific. She had been stabbed multiple times and left to die alone. The Phoenix Police Department immediately launched what would become one of their most intensive investigations of the year. They had few leads, no witnesses, and a crime scene that had been contaminated by the elements. But what they did have was something that would prove crucial in modern police work: surveillance cameras. In 2023, Phoenix had over 10,000 public and private security cameras throughout the city. Those electronic eyes would become the key to solving Nicole's murder.
I was walking Buddy, that's my golden retriever, around 2:30 when I noticed this white car. It had been sitting there for at least 30 minutes, which was strange for our neighborhood. The man inside kept checking his phone, starting the engine, then turning it off again. He was wearing this bright green jacket, military style, you know? I've lived here 23 years and I'd never seen him before. Something about his behavior made me nervous. He seemed agitated, like he was waiting for someone but getting impatient. I almost called the police right then, but I thought maybe I was being paranoid. I wish I had trusted my instincts.
Thomas Davidson had a story for everything, but none of his stories matched the evidence. First, he claimed he was home all afternoon. When we showed him the surveillance footage of his car, he said he went for a drive. When we proved he was at the crime scene, he claimed Nicole attacked him. But here's what really happened. Davidson was broke, desperate, and he thought Nicole had money from her craft sale. He lured her to that vacant lot with a fake job offer, tried to rob her, and when she resisted, he killed her. The medical examiner confirmed she was stabbed 7 times. This wasn't self-defense. This was cold-blooded murder over pocket change.
The Phoenix Police Department's Technical Crimes Unit began the painstaking process of analyzing footage from 148 security cameras across a 4-mile radius. What they discovered was remarkable: a complete timeline of Davidson's movements on the day of the murder. At 1:47 p.m., cameras caught his white Ford Taurus leaving his apartment complex. At 2:15 p.m., he was seen purchasing gas at a station 6 blocks from the crime scene. At 2:31 p.m., Mrs. Stevens spotted him waiting in his car. At 2:47 p.m., surveillance showed him walking toward the vacant lot where Nicole's body would be found. At 3:23 p.m., he was captured returning to his car in a hurry. The timestamp on Nicole's last text message was 3:18 p.m., 5 minutes before Davidson left the scene. Technology had created an unbreakable timeline that would prove his guilt. Now, Davidson's defense attorney would later argue that this was a crime of passion, a moment of anger that spiraled out of control. But the evidence tells a very different story. Davidson drove to the location and waited for over 30 minutes. He brought a knife with him, something he never admitted, but the medical examiner confirmed from Nicole's wounds. He chose an isolated location where he knew they wouldn't be interrupted. And most damning of all, he attempted to destroy evidence by washing his clothes and cleaning his car immediately after the murder. These are not the actions of someone who acted in the heat of passion. These are the calculated moves of someone who planned to kill and hoped to get away with it.
Okay. I was there, all right? But it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Nicole owed me money, $50 from the market. I just wanted what was mine. I called her, told her about a job opportunity, figured I'd get my money back and maybe more. But when I asked for the cash, she started yelling, saying she didn't owe me anything. She tried to leave, and I grabbed her arm. She fought back, started scratching at my face. I had the knife for protection. This isn't a safe neighborhood, you know? It all happened so fast. I didn't mean to hurt her, but she wouldn't stop fighting. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I never wanted anyone to die.
The Phoenix community's response to Nicole's murder was extraordinary. Within hours of the news breaking, neighbors began organizing. Maria Gonzalez, who lived next door to Nicole, started a GoFundMe campaign for Nicole's children that raised over $15,000 in 3 days. The Phoenix Farmers Market, where Nicole had sold her crafts, held a memorial service attended by over 200 people. Local businesses donated gift cards and necessities for Nicole's family. But perhaps most importantly, the community refused to let fear silence them. They organized neighborhood watch groups, installed additional security cameras, and created a text alert system for suspicious activity. Nicole's death became a rallying point for people who were tired of violence in their neighborhood and determined to make a change.
The evidence against Thomas Davidson was overwhelming. We had surveillance footage tracking his every movement, witness testimony placing him at the scene, physical evidence linking him to the crime, and his own confession. His defense attorney tried to argue this was manslaughter, not murder, but the facts don't support that theory. Davidson waited for Nicole for over 30 minutes. That's premeditation. He brought a weapon. That shows intent. He chose an isolated location. That demonstrates planning. And he immediately tried to destroy evidence. That proves consciousness of guilt. This wasn't a crime of passion or self-defense. This was the calculated murder of an innocent woman who was trying to build a better life for her children. Justice demanded nothing less than a conviction for first-degree murder.
Thomas Davidson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He will spend the rest of his days in the Arizona State Prison Complex, where he'll have decades to contemplate the 5 minutes that destroyed multiple lives. Nicole's children, now 8 and 12 years old, are being raised by their grandmother on her fixed income. The family has relocated to a different neighborhood, trying to escape the memories and start over. Davidson's own family, his elderly parents and younger sister, have been devastated by his actions. His crime didn't just end Nicole's life, it rippled through both families and an entire community. This is the true cost of violence, not just the immediate victim, but everyone connected to both the perpetrator and the victim.
I think about Nicole every day. I wish I had called the police when I first saw that man waiting in his car. Maybe if I had acted on my instincts, she'd still be alive today. But the community response has been incredible. We started a neighborhood watch program, and we've prevented 3 potential crimes already. People actually talk to each other now, look out for one another. Nicole's death wasn't in vain if it brought us together like this. Her children are doing well with their grandmother, and the scholarship fund has helped so many other families. Sometimes I visit her memorial at the farmers market and leave flowers. I tell her that we're watching out for each other now, that her neighborhood is safer because of what happened. I think she would be proud of how we've honored her memory.
The Nicole Carter reminds me why I became a police officer. Sometimes the system works exactly as it should. The community provides crucial information. Technology helps us track down the suspect, and justice is served. Mrs. Stevens' call was the break we needed. Without her detailed description of the suspect and his vehicle, we might still be looking for Nicole's killer. This case also shows how important surveillance cameras have become in modern policing. We were able to track Davidson's movements minute by minute, creating an irrefutable timeline that led to his confession. But most important, this case shows that when communities and law enforcement work together, we can solve even the most challenging crime. Nicole deserved justice, and I'm proud that we were able to deliver for her and her family.
In the judgment room, we believe that every victim deserves justice, every family deserves answers, and every community deserves safety. Nicole Carter's case shows us that when we work together, justice is possible. When we support each other, healing is possible. And when we refuse to accept violence as normal, change is possible. Thank you for joining us in the Judgment Room, where only facts matter and the pursuit of justice never ends.